Welcome into the Cowboys Report. Tom Downey here once again as Cowboys OTA set to resume later today. The Dallas Morning News, Michael Gelkin reporting that Micah Parsons is expected to return as the Cowboys resume OTAs Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. As a reminder, this was the reported plan all along, that Micah would return after spending the early part of OTAs, off-season workouts, training on his own in an effort to put himself in the best position possible. It's fine. I want him back. Be there for minicamp, training camp, etc. It's never really been contractually related for all the reports from Micah, his agent, the team, media, whatever. So I just want him back to get up to speed with Mike Zimmer and have the best season possible. I do think there is a real chance for Micah to set his personal high in sacks. We know he'll be in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation, as he always is. How many sacks do you think Micah Parsons will have this year? Sound off in the comments. Let's talk some Jalen Tolbert hype, which I hope is, real hype and not hopium hype that we always get for all 32 teams in this boring May, June, early July period there. Tolbert does continue to draw praise from coaches, players, and more as he enters year 3. Here's what the vet leader in the wide receiver room, Brandin Cooks, said about Tolbert. Quote, the way that he's able to talk about a route or the way he's able to tell the quarterback the way he sees things, he's not shy anymore. He's able to go up to Dak and say, hey, I see it this way. And it's awesome to see him grow in that aspect. He's ready to go. Whatever the expectation is for him out there, I'm telling you, he's going to crush it. I hope this is true. And this also kind of plays into some of the previous reporting that, Tolbert didn't have the best confidence early on. He wasn't comfortable. He got banged up and was trying to get caught up there. And we saw a massive growth from an incredibly low bar in year 1 to what we saw in year 2. Can we do the whole double it and pay it forward thing? Double it, pass it along with Tolbert? I think that'd be a really good outcome for him in year 3, given what this team needs from him with the way the current wide receiver room is set up. So are you buying the Jalen Tolbert hype? You can be honest with me. If you don't buy it, I get it. B for buy. S for sell. It is the pinned comment on today's video. If that ad comes on YouTube, fine. Ignore it. Nobody cares. Head down, go vote. B or S at the pinned comment. Didn't realize I made that BS, but it's fine. Tolbert last year basically kind of took the job from Michael Gallup. Now, those two guys did rotate plenty, and I think there was still probably more trust in Gallup from Dak's perspective, and probably one of the more underrated negative aspects of Dak's game is he trusts his receivers, sometimes to a fault, of, hey, man, you got to stop throwing the slant to Gallup. Like, I know that's the play call. Stop doing it. Go a little bit more rogue there. Look, again, can you double the numbers for Jalen Tolbert? That's not superstar play. That's 44 catches, 500-plus yards, 4 scores. For what Dallas needs from Tolbert, when they have CeeDee Lamb, who should get, again, a massive figure of targets and catches this year. I want to get Brandin Cooks more involved over Tolbert. I'm still down to give Kevontae Turpin some high-leverage chances. Maybe Jalen Brooks or Ryan Flournoy or somebody else impress as well, and they get a handful of snaps. And I want to make Jake Ferguson my number 2 target in the passing game. What I'm saying is I don't need Jalen Tolbert to be a star. I don't need him to be an elite-level player and the best number 3 receiver in the NFL. It's not what I need. Be great if it happened. I don't think it's very realistic right now. I just need him to be reliable. When teams bracket CeeDee Lamb and Cooks isn't open and Ferguson's not there, or when they want to design a play for Tolbert every now and then, when it's 3rd and 6 and they double up Lamb and Ferguson and he's second in the progression and he's open, make the play or get open. That's all I need. I'm not setting the bar super high. I just need steady, safe, reliable play out of Tolbert, and I think that can happen this year. And then we can revisit how he plays, what it means next year when, adding another wide receiver if Cooks does leave is probably going to be a pretty big priority for this team. Now, if you did not get the Cowboys NFL draft hat when it first came out, that's okay. They are still available. Chatsports.com/Cowboys draft hat. Link will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. That's chatsports.com/Cowboys draft hat. It is the official NFL draft hat of the Dallas Cowboys. We'll put that link in the comments in the description, and over there you'll see a link to one of the hats. There are other ones you can also search for, but let's go to chatsports.com/draft hat. Let's talk Eric Kendricks and Mike Zimmer here. Maybe two of the more important, if not the two, the two biggest changes you made to your entire defense, if not entire team this offseason. As you might recall, and we mentioned it too, Kendricks and Mike Zimmer didn't end on the best of terms. Kendricks saying he didn't like the fear-based organization. And Kendricks, as previously had said this to an extent too, now kind of laying it out. That was really more on me than it was anything else. Here's what Kendricks said on Zimmer. I always appreciated Zim. Just the amount of defense I learned when I was underneath him. The way I watch film, the way we break things down, the install, a lot of the things I learned from Zim, and we had some good years, and I can't wait to continue that. Emotions were high, Kendricks said about the comments he made. We're very excited. It's good to be back with him. I love his walkthroughs. I love the little ways he does things, the way he structures things, the level of detail. I'm so excited. I really am. You could almost put Darren Woodson on that quote, and it wouldn't be that far off, by the way. Because Woodson said very similar things about Mike Zimmer, and Zimmer's hard on his players. And as the players mature and grow and develop, it's kind of like, he actually was the best thing for me. And I think especially with regards to Micah Parsons, I want Zim to challenge and push him. And I want Micah to realize, you know what, I loved having George Edwards here. Edwards is going to tell me good things about Mike Zimmer if those two haven't spoken about it already, which, different teams, so maybe not. But I think back to Kendricks here. His presence is massive. He is the bridge between the entire defensive players and the defensive coordinator. The coach on the field is often an overplayed term, but I think there are some similarities here. He'll be the signal caller on this defense, and I think not having Kendricks would have made this transition a little bit harder. And don't just take my word for that. Mike Zimmer said the exact same thing on Kendricks, saying, quote, he's quick. He said the calls before and done it before. If he wasn't here, how much different would it be? So we're really glad that we have him. An all-pro player for me a while ago. Obviously, he's a really good player. Hopefully, he'll keep going that way and help the guys around him. So will the Cowboys linebackers be better in 2024? We'll go more in depth on this here in a moment, but take the chance to sound off for me in the comments. Y for yes, N for no. Shout out to the commenter who pointed out that I was an idiot and left Damian Wilson off the depth chart. He is there. Your top three guys are Eric Kendricks, DeMarvion Overshown, Damone Clark. Kendricks is the middle linebacker, the Mike who'll be calling the signals. Overshown's the Will. Clark and Leofau will both also work at strong side linebacker in 3 linebacker packages, and we'll see who wins that battle potentially. And then I also think in 2 linebacker packages, Leofau will work at the Mike, and Clark also works at the Will. I think that makes the most sense for those parties involved. There's going to be actual 3 linebacker packages this year. I don't know how many will actually be utilized. Maybe we'll get a better feel for that in camp. And then it's Buddy Johnson, Brock Moggensen, Damian Wilson fighting for a spot. I feel good about the top 4. 5th and 6th is a question mark. It might come down in the end to special teams, by the way, and maybe one of those UDFAs, whether it's Jason Johnson, Brock Moggensen, or maybe it's Buddy Johnson sticking around, ends up carving out a spot. Kendricks, look, he's not the same player he was at his prime in Minnesota. I think we can admit and acknowledge that. I don't think he's going to be the same, nearly 10 tackle per game guy he was at his best, but I think having him as a run stopper, having his veteran presence, I think matters a lot for a team that needed that and needed someone with more Zimmer ties up front. Now, we are 292 subs away from 189K. That is it. Help us get there. YouTube.com/@CowboysTV. Hit that sub button right now. I want to wrap up today's show with this conversation. You might have seen a bunch of other accounts and outlets saying, Cowboys have interest in Michael Thomas. But do they really? Let's go in reverse order from most recent to oldest of what the outlets are reporting here. So first off, NFL Rooms, who sucks. They are bad. They are fake news propagandists. They tweeted out last night, and shout out to the guy who tagged me in it, even though I'm blocked and had to go into the chat accounts to see it, that the Dallas Cowboys have reportedly interest in Saints free agent Michael Thomas. Now, first off, it's not grammar. Have reportedly interest. That's not how words work at all. Source cited was none. No citation. So where is it coming from? Well, there was an article from NFL Analysis Network that said, headline was, Dallas Cowboys expected to have interest in interesting free agent. That free agent was Michael Thomas. Okay, well, where are we citing expected to have interest from? Linked to a CBS Sports article that was ranking the players the Cowboys could add before training camp, and these guys would help Dallas. So the original citation was, hey, maybe this makes sense. It's no different than when we do the top free agent targets. Players that we think could make sense for Dallas, right? That does not mean, the Cowboys have interest. There's actually zero reporting out there beyond all these speculation of, well, maybe it could make sense. And it gets distorted in a crappy game of telephone from bad accounts out there like ML Football and NFL Rooms and Rookie Watch and Dovbro. It's just all bad. And I think Thomas is washed, by the way. So I'm not interested in him. I don't think he doesn't bring me anything I don't have already. I would like to get some speed on the outside. I don't think that makes sense for Dallas. Now, we can revisit that if injuries happen. Knock on wood, hopefully they don't. But I don't think he helps the Cowboys at this stage.